Soundstripe.
First found out about the transfer experience in the induction week. You're told loads of information about the transfer and where you can find the information on the online documents. You're made aware that it will be a year from starting with 3 months either side. You kind of imagine that 12 months away, that's fine. You focus on other aspects of your research, but actually those 12 months pass so fast.
I'm still obviously in the early stages, and there's plenty of tools out there, such as the Student Handbook. Before starting my course, I'd spoke to a few PhD students that had been through transfer, so heard briefly about what the process involved. And it was only until the induction week that I really kind of found out in more detail what the application and what the process involved.
It's a real opportunity for the student to gauge their own progress, how they're progressing towards the completion of their thesis. Also, of course, an opportunity for the supervisory team to gauge their progress as well.
Well, the student needs to be absolutely sure that before they apply for transfer, towards the end of their probationary period, that they've completed all the probationary activities. Again, they can see the list of those in the student toolkit. There is the case for transfer that the student will write, the substantial piece of written work that the supervisors sign off, a transfer viva and a transfer seminar.
I think it's really important when you're approaching transfer that you practice and you get advice. So there's loads of other postgraduates who've been around and done transfer, so they can tell you what you need to put in, what you don't need to put in, how you phrase it and all of that kind of advice. And it doesn't hurt to look at someone else's case for transfer, because you're not doing the same work as them, so it's not cheating, it's just learning from their experience.
You get the chance basically to get officially checked from your supervisors and your director of studies. The presentation as well is quite important because you are in front of an audience where they know their stuff. They can make quite critical comments, and then you need to be ready to respond on those.
There's quite a lot of guidance out there, and there's a lot of very good useful tools such as the Research Student Toolkit, and the Research Graduate School have quite a wide-ranging variety of online resources to help with the whole transfer process.
A couple of weeks prior to the time that I needed to transfer, I then realised actually there's other legislations in the way as well. You need to make sure your transfer is submitted to a Research Degrees Board and to the Research Degrees Committee. So therefore you're actually constrained to their deadlines. So it's really important to be aware of when their meetings are, to make sure that their meeting falls within the window of your transfer.
It's the single most important point in the programme from a sort of quality point of view. It's the point where the university and the supervisors and the student can gain some assurance and check that the student and the project are going to deliver the degree that the student's registered for.
I think communication with the supervisory team is absolutely vital. You almost can't have too much communication.
Anybody there that would go through it doing it as a part-time student over the 6 years will probably realise if you prepare yourself well and you think about what you need to do and organise yourself and use the online resources, the transfer process should be quite smooth running.
I think transfer is an absolutely vital process for PGR students. It's pretty much the only checkpoint, the only reassurance that the work you're producing is of PhD quality before you actually get to submit it for your PhD.
As I've only just passed the transfer, it's all very fresh, but it was interesting, and now I'm ready to go on and collect my new data.
So they've got to approach it as an opportunity rather than something to be scared of. I know that some students see it as sort of a barrier to progress, but it really isn't that. It's a point at which, say, they can gauge their own progress. They can probably for the first time share their progress, their research with a wider audience.
As for the transfer experience, I was quite nervous about talking about my work for 45 minutes to an hour in front of people, but actually it was a really positive experience. I learned a lot about myself. Actually, I realised that I was able to talk about my work to a range of audience, and I did really enjoy the experience.